Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. So this is my first time I guess sitting down and speaking to you since I announced that I am pregnant, and I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much for all your congratulations, your well wishes. I was really overwhelmed actually. I had to keep coming off the comments and coming back because it was just, I really felt the love, so thank you so much. And I guess rolling off the back of that, I want to kick off with some updates and yeah. So the channel now, YouTube, there are going to be some changes around here. So YouTube I have been doing since, well actually even before 2019. I actually used to do music reaction videos, and then I took a break, and then I came back and I decided to really delve into spirituality, and I started to do celebrity psychic readings. But I feel at this point in my life and where we are as a collective in this world, I really want to move over to collective readings, pick a card readings that I'm able to give you that can actually help you, guide you on your path. And I know a lot of people do see themselves in the celebrity readings, but I just feel like, and I felt like it for a while, you know, if you've been following me for a while, I've gone back and forth with this, but it is final now. I'm ready to kind of move on and close the chapter, close that chapter. So this channel now, YouTube, will be collective readings, energy readings, moon readings, any special occasions like the solstices, the equinoxes, those kind of readings. We've got the Lionsgate portal coming up. I'm going to try and do monthly energy readings, all that kind of stuff. That is what will happen now on this YouTube channel. That's what this YouTube channel will be like. So there will be no more celebrity readings. I know you guys keep requesting, but I won't be doing them. So thank you so much. But they will be no more. Equally, any kind of sit down or chatty stuff like this now will probably move over to my podcast, because I have just launched a podcast called Spirituality in Reality, and I love it. It's such a little passion project of mine. There is nothing more I love talking about than the spiritual journey of life, whether that be transitions, changes, navigating relationships, practicing spirituality, all that kind of stuff. I've got 3 episodes now, and it's available on Spotify and Apple. I'm going to try and get it on some other platforms as well, but I would love if you would head over there and listen. You guys are here because you love spirituality, so it is kind of your thing. So I would love if you would listen to that. And yeah, so I'm doing any kind of chatty sit down videos will be on the podcast. Well, they're not videos, recordings will be more on the podcasts. Like spiritual dilemmas, Q&As, that kind of thing. There'll be more on the podcast now than this channel. This channel will really be solely readings, I guess. And apart from that, that's everything. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm still over there. I am Kirsty Lewis. I update you guys with a lot of my stuff there, let you know when I'm filming, let you know when I'm recording the podcast, let you know about any special discounts on readings with me. That's all over on my Instagram. So I'll leave all the links for everything in the description if you want to check anything out. And apart from that, that's it. The website has changed. So I used to be kirstylewis.com, now it's kirstylewis.co.uk. Again, link in the description. And private readings are available with me if you would like to book one. Yeah. So without further ado, you guys sent me in some questions after I did announce my pregnancy. Someone said, can you briefly explain how souls choose their parents in the spirit realm from my point of view? Okay, so this isn't something I have really delved into, I'll be entirely honest. And interestingly, now I'm pregnant, it's an even weirder concept to think about. But I do believe that before we come here, we don't just choose our parents, but we actually choose our whole entire life path. And our parents play into that because they are the ones that are going to initially set our foundations to, I guess, trigger us the most. In terms of our healing and what we're going to learn on our journeys. Our parents set the tone really for our lives, you know, they are our foundation. And so I do believe that we do choose our parents in connection with the kind of life path that we're going to walk. And then I believe that we come down to earth, we're born, and in the beginning, I do believe we are still aware of our connection to spirit more than like ever before, because we haven't been conditioned, we haven't been brainwashed. The veil is still very thin between us and the spiritual realm. But as we grow and we get older and life starts to happen and society starts to come in and conditioning starts to come in, the veil gets thicker and thicker between us and the spiritual realm, and we forget why we came here, we forget our lessons, we forget what we came here to do, the life path we've come here to walk. And I do believe that part of our life journey is unraveling that and remembering again and learning those lessons. So although I haven't delved really deeply into choosing our parents in the spirit realm before we come here, I do believe that we do that. But that's kind of my taking it as far as I've kind of gone into delving into that. Okay, next, were you able to sense that you had a baby on the way? Congrats. Thank you so much. Yes, but interestingly, I didn't expect it to happen as quickly as it did, and I'll share with you the story. I was on my way to the toilet, the bathroom, if you're American, or anywhere else. I don't know if anyone else calls it the toilet. Anyway, I was on my way, which is a short few steps from my bedroom, and I got a spiritual download, and Spirit were like, take a pregnancy test. And I was like, well, I'm not pregnant, so, I mean, but I had the tests anyway, and obviously there was a chance I could be, but I was just like, I'm not. Like, I had no symptoms, nothing. I was like, you know, but Spirit were like, just take the test. You know, it was just like a gentle, intuitive nudge. I was like, okay, I'll take the test. So I took the test, I put it down, I walked away. I was like, oh, let me go back and check. I picked it up, just thinking I'm not. Like, the whole time I'm thinking I'm not pregnant. So I just picked it up and literally looked at it and went to throw it in the bin. And then I was like, and I drew the pregnancy test back to my face, and I squinted. There was the faintest line, and I was like, is it? And I was holding up to light, like, it was so faint. But yeah, I guess I knew it was coming. I did expect it this year. I actually expected it a bit later on in the year. But yeah, happy either way, and very, very blessed. And there was a spiritual connection in that, because if Spirit hadn't have said that to me in that moment, I wouldn't have taken a test in that moment, because I felt no kind of reason to. Like I said, I had no symptoms or anything. So yeah. How excited are you? I am so excited. This is something I have like dreamed and envisioned and talked about my whole life. Like, gonna get emotional. Pregnancy hormones. As if I don't cry all the time anyway. You know, like when you're younger and you think like, oh, how many children am I going to have? And am I going to have a boy, or am I going to have a girl? Or, you know, how old am I going to be when I have my first child? And like, just being in that moment that I've talked about for my whole life, it's very surreal. Like, still every day, oh gosh, I'm going to get emotional. Every day I like wake up, and every day is like so magical, because it's just like, it's just the best thing ever. I feel very, very blessed. Very, very, very blessed. So, do you see the world getting worse before better, or better? So we are basically in a really weird space as a collective, energetically. A lot of us are waking up more and more and more and more and more, and the consciousness is rising. And I do feel, you know, I've talked for many years now on this channel about light versus dark and the warfare that is happening, the spiritual warfare, and I feel like we're kind of reaching a peak of that. If you go back to the reading I did for 2023, the energy reading, I talked about how we are at the end of like a book. Like 2023 is like the last chapter of this book, and as we walk into 2024 has a completely different energy. Like, it has a new world kind of energy, and unfortunately before we get to our new world, things have to get messy. I heard a saying the other day which is like, for us to be able to clean things, they have to be messy, and that's exactly where we're at. And I do feel that unfortunately things are due to get a little bit worse before they get better, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like we are turning a corner. I feel like 2024 holds much better energy for all of us, for the world, and we just have to kind of ride the wave right now. But it's tough. The energy right now is tough, but it will be better in the end. Why is there such a push for darkness on the planet right now? So that ties in with what I said. You have to have a bit of darkness to bring in light. There's a saying that keeps coming up in conversations, which is the wound is where the light enters you, right? The triggers, the traumas, that's where healing takes place. That's where growth takes place. That's where evolution takes place. We have to go into the darkness to find the light. We have to expose the corruption. We have to pull all that stuff out, because if we don't, it's just going to stay there. It's just going to stay there. It's there. But if we just like potter on and try and build a new world on those foundations, it's going to crumble. It's going to just sink into that darkness. We have to pull that darkness out and rebuild on a completely fresh and new foundation. And that's why there is so much darkness right now, as well as the darkness is fighting the light. We live in a universe of duality, of polarity. You can't have light without the dark. If we didn't have bad times and corruption and all those things, we wouldn't be able to recognize the light. You know, we need that duality. And the more that is exposed, as nasty and as horrible as it feels, the more we are pushed into light, the more we are shown what we don't want, the more we reject that, the more we move away from that. And so it has to come up. It has to come up. It has to come up for us to rise in consciousness. It has to come up for us to wake up. That stuff has to rise, to clear it out and to get clear about the kind of world that we do want, the kind of world that we want moving forward. And so it's temporary, you know, it will pass. If you look at history, there's been awful things and awful times throughout history, but we've always overcome, you know, so just understand that it will pass. It's just that we're living through it this time, and so it feels a lot heavier and darker. Well, this is an interesting question. I've literally never been asked this. Will you have your significant other on the channel, and how did you guys meet? How many children do you want? Okay, let's start with the first question. So will I have my significant other on the channel? This is something we actually talked about, because I feel like he would love to be on the channel, but now that I've changed the direction of things, I don't really know what he would come on the channel and do. We could definitely talk about relationships and things like that. Obviously we have a wealth of knowledge in that area. I'm not going to say no. It's not something we've planned and like I have a video planned in place, but you know, who knows, never rule it out. Yeah, never rule it out. And how did we meet? So good question. I have a video on this channel called 3 times Spirit intervened and changed my life or something, and in that video, I'll link it below, I think I do talk about how we met, because it was spiritually led. We met, I think I was 15 and he was 14, because I am a little bit older than him, only by 8 months to the day. I'm 5th of May, he's 5th of January. So yeah, we live in a very small town, although we lived on opposite ends of the town, but we just kind of, like, in my day, like when I was a teenager, like we would go outside, like social media was a thing, it was MSN, and we did start talking on MSN, but we would go out, like we would leave our house, we would go out and socialize. So a lot of the time we would go to like our local town, and I guess we just knew some of the same people. And if you go and watch the video, it will tell you how I met his friend, who then, I guess, introduced me to him, kind of thing. So it's a long old story, but yeah, we've been together since we were 15, 16, and we're now 30 and 31. So yeah, we met a long old time ago. It was a different world then. It was a different world then. And how many children do you want? Do you know what? I'll be entirely honest. I really avoid that question, because I'm blessed to just be able to have one child, and I really do believe that. how is your life changing now that you're becoming a mum soon, and did you always see yourself wanting to be a mother? Oh, so you know what, that's an interesting question, because I don't think my life's really gonna change until the baby gets here, and then it's like, you know, I come from quite a big family. I don't know, I've never really spoken about that. I have a lot of nieces and nephews. I have 10 nieces and nephews in total. So I've had babies in and out of my life my whole life. So right now, nothing's really changing apart from decluttering, making space, organising, preparing for the baby in a material aspect, in a physical aspect. And my energy levels, you know, every day's different. Some days I'm really tired, some days I'm actually full of energy. But the one thing I would say has changed the most, which is actually a really beautiful thing, is that I feel fulfilled. I feel completely fulfilled. I think I've spent my whole life feeling like, what am I doing here? What is my purpose? Why am I here? Like, what is the point of this? Which I know is very, very deep. But for the first time, genuinely, like, hand on my heart, I can say a career's never fulfilled me. I love what I do. I love teaching spirituality. But there are some days, I'll be honest, where it's like a lot, and it doesn't fulfill me in the way like being a mum like already does. Like, my purpose is here, like, and I just feel very content and happy and fulfilled, and every day I feel magical, and every day is like, wow, like, you know. So that's the main thing. It's more the emotional side of it for me right now. I just feel very, very calm and content and happy, and probably the happiest I felt, I'm gonna cry again, in a very, 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 very long time. So yeah. Oh, someone else again actually asked the same question, which was, did you sense that you had a baby coming? And I forgot to actually share this a minute ago. In 2020, a few people around me got pregnant. And at the time, I did, you know, I was starting to really feel within myself that I was ready to, you know, take those steps. But, you know, timing. And I had a moment where I did have a little bit of like a breakdown about it. And I remember one day just feeling really, really down because, you know, these people around me were getting pregnant. I was really, really happy for them, but it was highlighting to me how I wasn't there yet, and it wasn't my time yet. And I remember feeling really, really down about it. And one evening I went and I lay down on my bed, and I wasn't asleep, but I wasn't awake. I went into this weird, like, in-between thing. I don't even know if my eyes were open. I don't know. It was a weird thing. But in front of me, I wasn't in the room anymore. Like, it was like I was asleep, I guess. But I wasn't asleep. I don't know. It's weird. In front of me was this vision of this baby boy. And this was in 2020. This would have been in like maybe April, May, June of 2020. Can't remember the exact time. And in front of me, as I lay down, you know, feeling quite deflated and depleted and wondering when it was going to be my time, this vision of this baby boy just appeared in front of my face. And I felt this like energy of calm around me, like, you know, your time will kind of come. And so from the moment I got pregnant, in my spirit and in my heart, this was a boy. Like, I was like, this is a baby boy. I've already seen him. Spirit's already told me. I know. Like, do you know what I mean? I've been waiting. That was 3 years ago. 3 years ago. And I say this to say that if you are trying to manifest something, if you want something, if your heart's calling for something and it's not happening right now, I stand by this as like one of the truest things. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it isn't going to happen. That was 3 years ago. That was 3 years ago I had this vision. And lo and behold, we go to the scan to find out the gender of the baby, and I am having a little boy. And I held that vision. I actually held that vision. So, you know, I knew he was coming. I just didn't know when. But Spirit gave me that kind of like reassurance, like, your time will come. Your time will come. Someone did ask on Instagram about talking about Saturn return, and I will talk about Saturn return because it's a wild ride. Do you know what, maybe I'll do a pick a card or something if you're going through your Saturn return. That'd be a good one. But I will also talk about it over on the pod. I have it down in my notes as a whole episode to do on spirituality and reality, the podcast for Saturn return. I have a whole I have some ideas of episodes in my notes, and Saturn return is one of them because it's such a big moment. And I have lessons from my Saturn return I can definitely share. So yes, I will talk about that, but it will most likely be on the podcast. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for all your well wishes, and congratulations again. I really do appreciate your support, really do. And that's it. If you do want to book a private reading with me, they are available on my website, www.kirstilewis.co.uk. Everything is linked in the description. If you want to follow me over on Instagram for behind the scenes and updates and news, please do. I'd love to have you over there. And that's it. I will see you soon for another video, and look after yourselves and take care. Bye.